Hey, what's up? I'm Ashley. Thank you for watching this video. And today we're going to be talking about Servant, Season 4, Episode 8, titled Tunnels. So, LeAnn is making it rain outside. And I'm not talking about money. It's a storm outside. A Category 2. And LeAnn is watching the news as if she wasn't the one who caused this whole thing. It gotta be her, because it looked like she was becoming one with the storm almost the whole episode with her creepy self. I guess she was checking on the progress she was doing. We find out that it's a flash flood warning. People's cars have stalled. And right when she got done saying the storm drains are barely holding up, rats start coming out of the sewer. Then we see LeAnn stepping in the puddle with her ballerina shoes on. Ballerina shoes? She might as well just take them off. Then we see LeAnn creeping up on Julian while Julian was trying to do research on why he wasn't able to talk that time. But come on, Julian. You already know it was your girl LeAnn. So she asked him, "What are you doing?" And Julian lied, talking about, "Oh, I just like to read." It was like, "Oh, I'm just worried about this storm." But you can tell that LeAnn wasn't fully believing him. While that was happening, Sean brought Jericho in the room with Dorothy so that Jericho wouldn't be scared of the storm. And Dorothy was making sure Sean had the house secure so that there wouldn't be any leaks from the rain. But with LeAnn in the house, there was no point of that. She was letting the rain in. One of LeAnn's homeless friends came to the door to tell LeAnn that they can't stay outside anymore because the rain has gotten bad, but that they don't want to leave her. But LeAnn is telling them to go on ahead and go. She said, if the storm doesn't want you here, then you should go. Which brings me to why I think she's the one causing this storm, because she just wants to be in the house with Dorothy. Just her and Dorothy, nobody else. So she's making it rain so her homeless friends can leave. And we haven't even talked about what she did to Sean and Julian yet. And Uncle George. I think she's going to do something to Jericho too. Then later we see Julian and Sean trying to figure out how they're going to get LeAnn through this tunnel and hand her over to Uncle George. Dorothy hears this noise come from Jericho's room. So she gets up to go see what it was with her walker. She got a walker now. You can't tell her nothing. So when she gets to Jericho's room, she sees that the window is open during a storm. And what else does she see? She sees creepy LeAnn sitting on the floor while all the rain is coming into the room. She doesn't even say anything to her at first. She just looks at her when she first walks in, and she goes to close the window with all the little strength that she has with her bad back. But Dorothy, you don't think that's weird? You're supposed to say, "Girl, you're weird, sitting here with the window open." But then eventually she does tell her to clean the mess up because it's going to ruin the floors, and then tells her that she reminds her of herself. Then LeAnn gets this little smirk on her face like, "Oh my God, I've been waiting for this all my life." But Dorothy tells her that they're both tenacious and that they never give up, and that that's not always a good thing. Then LeAnn says, "You guys always act like there's something wrong with me and keep trying to get rid of me." And that all she wants to do is make Dorothy happy. But Dorothy's like, "It was never your job to make me happy." LeAnn starts talking about how Sean and Julian doesn't like her anymore, and asks Dorothy to try to convince them that she's not a monster. But I don't know how you can convince anybody of that. After that conversation, LeAnn goes up to the basement and Dorothy decides to take a shower. And that's when we get to see Dorothy's scar that she got from that time LeAnn made her fall from the stairs. So when LeAnn gets to the basement, she gets on a ladder to open the window. Lightning strikes, there's sparks everywhere, and she's yelling out to the sky, "Is that all you got?" And she's laughing while she's doing it. I'm scared of her. Julian walks in and sees her. He's like, "What are you doing? Get down from that." And when she gets down from the ladder, she's yelling at Julian saying, "The storm is for me. He thinks that he can beat me." I said, who is he? Is it the devil? Is it God? Or is it that dark figure that we saw before? She's all like, "But he can't beat me because I won." So Julian's like, "Come with me downstairs." She's like, "No." So that's when Julian yells for Sean. Sean comes running up there. So they're both carrying LeAnn, trying to get her down to the tunnel. But LeAnn is fighting for her life. They end up dropping LeAnn, and that knocked her out. And by the time LeAnn wakes up, she's in Dorothy's wheelchair, getting pushed in the tunnel to be handed over to Uncle George. And Uncle George was waiting for her too with his little lamp, along with 2 other members from the church. He tells her that when she first came to this house, it was out of love, but that love was a selfish love. It has brought death and destruction upon us all. LeAnn responds with, "Anything that bad happens in this world is all because of him." And I'm like, again, who is him? He basically tells her that the whole world will suffer if she doesn't end it. And he almost talks her into ending her life until he said, "God will forgive you of all your sins and your wickedness. See, that's where he messed up at when he said wicked. She said, who said I was wicked? And stabbed that burning knife up through his mouth from the bottom. That was the end of Uncle George. Then she went over there and ended the 2 other members from the church. Then she went back to Uncle George and started slicing him up some more. Then put the knife through his eyeball because that's what he told her to do. Then she lit the whole place on fire. This reminds me of a horror movie. Chucky don't got nothing on her. While Leanne was down there burning up the place, Dorothy was up there falling. While Dorothy was in the shower, she heard Jericho crying, so she gets out the shower and she tries walking without her walker. And she fell down on the floor. And she low-key deserves that because who you think you are? You can barely get around, but you want to try walking without your walker while you're wet? She ended up having to crawl to Jericho, but when she finally got to the room with Jericho, she can't pick him up because she can't get up. So now, since their plan failed with Leanne, Sean and Julian are scared out of their mind when they hear Leanne humming through the house. Sean picks up a knife while they're both walking towards the sound, but then the window breaks because of the storm, forcing Sean to stab himself in the chest right there by the heart. We all know it was Leanne. She's trying to play it off like it was the storm. So now Julian is begging for his life now. He's like, I'm so sorry for what we did to you. But Leanne pushes him down the stairs and he ends up falling into this big thing of water and all the wine bottles falls on top of him. Did she make that hole? She had to. He ended up being okay though. Thank God he can swim. Sean, on the other hand, is in a more worse condition, even though he is okay. Leanne walks over there to him and she pulls out the knife from his chest. And she calls 911 for Sean. If she wanted that to be it for Sean, it would have been because she know where his heart is. All it took was a few more inches. We see Dorothy on top of the stairs asking Leanne what happened, and Leanne tells her to be quiet and that she should check on Jericho. A few seconds later, we see the paramedics come in. We see Julian laid out on the stretcher with a neck brace. And Sean is hooked up to a breathing tube. He can't breathe by himself. And Leanne whispers in his ear and says, I'm never going to let you back in this house. His house. But Sean can't speak no more, at least for right now. But Leanne is looking like evilness. She's looking like the Grudge. Leanne and Dorothy are both on the stairs, and Dorothy asks her, what did you do? And Leanne's like, I didn't do anything, Mrs. Turner. It was an accident. You know how accidents can happen. And I think she was insinuating on the fact that she made Dorothy fall down them stairs, acting like it was an accident. She says, it's just you and me now. And that's what Leanne's been wanting this whole time, is just to be in the house with Dorothy. Yeah, Jericho is there for now, but like I said earlier, I think she will do something to Jericho. And maybe before Dorothy finds out the truth about Jericho, hopefully that's in the next episode. But y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode down in the comments so we can talk about it. And if you haven't already and want to see more videos like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.